I know I haven't been doing any videoing recently. I haven't been doing much work, in fact, recently, but I have been doing a bit. I just haven't videoed it. But I thought I'd video or take a look at this and trying to work it out. So this isn't working properly. You can see there the ratchet isn't working. The button just, I can't move it at all. Okay, but here, so this is where the ratchet connects up. I don't know if those teeth will show through, but this has teeth on it. Now that has some movement in it. Okay, so when it's hinged at the bottom, so when the button gets pushed in, it pushes the bottom out, it releases the teeth so that this can move, releases the teeth. Button comes back in, button comes back out, will pivot at the bottom, will force that back along. So what I want to try to do is work out how to see if I can work out what's going on here. Now I think the first thing I'm going to try, possibly, is I'm going to start by sticking it in a vise. Something like that, and or maybe not even in a vise, maybe just like that, and I'm going to whack this and see if that will force the button out. Now that has created some movement, perhaps not enough. Okay, so that's moving, but you can see here, you can see a bit of how it's come out a bit. So when I press it, it goes in a little bit. So now you can see it's come out further. And it's now locked it, there we go. So that's how far it needs to come out. So it's just good job, Henry. Oh. Okay, so now it won't go either way. Okay. Right, so what have I done? I've got it so that actually I can see a gap in there. Don't know if that shows on the video, but there is a gap in there, so it should, there we go, it should move. There we go. Right, so that still moves. So the problem I've got is the spring is not springing back for whatever reason. I don't know if that's because it's broken or what, so I think I'm going to have to try to get this off. And I have no idea really how to do that. So I'm going to have a little think. But I'm going to have to get this handle off somehow. I came across something on Triumph Experience for a GT6 and I read it on my phone and I didn't read all of it, but it said 15 minutes with a heat gun, pulling on it at the same time. So we've got it in a vise, we've got a heat gun, and I'm not going to video myself doing it, but we'll have a look in a little while. Well, I guess that sort of worked. So it's off, it's a bit hot still, but it has left that pretty knackered. So that's not great. And I think there was no point because it doesn't actually give me access to anything in here. So I think what I actually need to do is get rid of this pop rivet or whatever it is and feed it out that way. So that's what I'll do now. So this came out. There it is. With a bit of drilling. And but this doesn't come all the way out of here. And I don't know if it's because of these bits here. And I don't know if you can see, let's see if I can get some light in there. I don't know if I can show you that there's some sort of washer or stopper. My hand's right in the way, isn't it? There you go. So I don't know if I'll manage to capture that later, but there's a stopper in there. And then we have a spring, and then a bit of something that has just come off. I think that was a bit of felt, to be honest. And then this. And so this, and now this is now fine. Apart from when I put it all the way in there. So when it pushed all the way in, it goes in too far by the look of it. So maybe the problem was the felt, or whatever it is, needs to be a bit bigger to prevent it. So if that's locked, then we push it in. Oh, it's still locked. Oh yeah, well I haven't. Okay, and it's now not coming out. So when it goes in that far, it locks. That's the problem. If I stop it going in that far, it comes out. Right, let's see if we can find a little bit of... Let's find a screw to go in there for now. Right, yeah. Okay, So it's locked, it's unlocked, it's locked. Right. Right, so it looked like it just needed loosening up a bit. Shame I wrecked this. So be it. There we go, it's stuck again. Right, I'm going to pop it out again and give it a good spray with WD-40. See how that does it. Right, I don't know if you can see it, but I've stuffed some a circle of felt in here. I'm just going to make sure that's well lubricated so it stays that way, like that. Then, come on you. Right, then we should be able to fix this up. So I have here, this is a 20mm M4. I suppose I could cut it down, but I'm not going to. I will tighten that up. Let's just check this all works now. There we go. So that's not going back down. Pull it in, and it does go back down. Let's just do that again. Yeah, not going down. Good. So we'll tighten this up, and I should probably clean it and give it a lick of paint and stuff, shouldn't I? Yeah. I don't think we will though. We can always take it out again and do that. So, and I don't know how much of that you got to see because I had it in front of me, but look, you can see the button goes in and out now. Alright, when it's out you can't shift this, push it in, it goes in, and of course you can click it out that way. Okay, good. I'll stick that on the car. Alright, so what's not so good is I've put it back on, but I can't function the button any longer. So that means the button's been forced in. Right, well we can take this off again and see what it looks like. Okay, so simply taking it off here, feeding it out, that's now working again. So you can pull it up, you can't push it down, and you push the button in, go down, and the button comes in and out. So I'm going to put my bolt on the other side again. I'm going to just leave it like this. So I'm using an M4 20mm. That way I can take it apart again if I need to. But I guess the key thing about this is don't take the handle off. You don't need to wreck that. Just take this off and it will all slide out. And so it worked the first time. So it's all connected up underneath and to the brakes. It worked the first time, and now it's not working again. It's not popping back out. I think I've got this sorted. So I changed this to an M5, and I don't have a nut for the back. I don't have an M5 nut anywhere, so I'm going to have to find one or buy one. But this now seems to work. Okay, so it works each way. So there we go, handbrake on. And I mean, this isn't really a test, but there we go. Wheel won't turn. And as you can see, wheel won't turn. So that's good. And if we take the handbrake off, oh well, it's not turning very well, so I probably need to do something about the settings on it. There we go. So I've got to tighten up a few bolts, but I think that is the handbrake working. Let's do a little update of the things I've done. So the dash is back in, as you can see, and all the screws have been replaced like that. So I don't have the black ones. I've used these silver things with a washer, and that looks okay for me. So that's back in place. The drums at the back I've put in shoes. Discs at the front I've put in pads. The exhaust manifold is on, but no exhaust. Inlet is on. Carbs are on. That took me a while. The accelerator cable is connected up, but I need a new clutch cable. No, not clutch. I need a new choke cable. There's there. The clutch master cylinder is in. It is connected to the pedal. The slave is in down below, but I haven't got pipe from the two, and so that's not been tested. The brake pipes are all in, and I put in brake fluid, but when I open up the bleed nipple at the back, this isn't going down. When I press it, this isn't going down. So I've got a problem here, and so next thing I'm going to do is try to sort this out. In terms of seeing if I can work out why it's not leaving here. So well, we'll talk about that in a bit. I have put in 3.5 litres of oil. It's meant to take 4.5. I started putting it in, realised I hadn't put these in, took it off, had a great mess. Because it was leaking here, because it was at an angle, but those are in now. It's got 3.5 litres in. Problem with that is, when I checked the oil yesterday, having done that, it was marking it as full, which means I've got a litre to go in somewhere, and it's not getting to places. Now, I suppose that's a possibility, in that, you know, some of it might be stuck in the oil filter because of the way that hangs, and obviously none will have got in there because of where it is. So there'll be some gaps, I guess, and maybe I need to turn the engine over a few times to get that in. Now, in order to do that, I believe I'll have to take probably, well, I might be able to get at it, but somehow I'm going to have to get in there, and I don't think I can get at it without taking the fan off, but we'll see. So we've got to do that. Now the plugs are in, the Dizzy is in. Right, so I'm also missing the breather pipes from here to here. I do have a one that goes from here to the Dizzy. But there's meant to be something going here, and I can't remember what it is or where it came from. And of course I've got one here as well, which I can't remember where it goes, so I'm going to have a look at that. And then from here, that must go somewhere over here. And I don't quite remember where it goes, but I'm sure I'll work it out. But it must go down here somewhere. Anyway, so that's where we are, and I've got to obviously connect up the electrics. So that's just a brief overview of kind of what I have been doing and not videoing.